What is going on? Welcome to Out Weeks in the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and more. And there's some good topics to talk tonight. A brand new Alien TV show dropped. New comics are out. And we've got a friend here who's peddling his wares, also known as his brand new book that's been over a decade in the works. And you'll find out all about it right after this.
Wait, I have a book coming out?
Do you?
Oh, you just said.
If it's applicable, please share.
Okay. It is not applicable.
It's not applicable.
No.
Applicable. I'd like to hear Daffy Duck pronounce that word.
Thank you.
I like your shirt, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's fantastic. I hope everyone's having a good night. As always, joined by Sector 2815. And we're not alone tonight. We have a special visitor. He's not a stranger to the channel. We got let me go down the list. We have John, we have Jonathan Medici, we have J-Med, we have this guy here. What's going on, Jonathan?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me on. Paul, again, shirt game is fire. Mark already pointed it out, but
thank you.
Too good.
Thank you.
Love it.
Dude, as soon as he popped on backstage, oh, I like your shirt. You got the memo. And I was wearing a Superman. He's like, yeah, it's a toy. It's not even the poster. It's a
this is the McFarlane one. It's got an action figure with it. So.
Oh, yeah, just seeing Joe's comment. Who got 2 thumbs and got his first ever CBCA nomination this year? The Adventurous Joe at your service. Big congrats to the Adventurous one, Joseph Michaels. Mm-hmm. I voted for you on that finalist form. I went through it and knocked all that out last night. Big congrats. I like that the clip that they shared of the Adventurous one is him doing the Lex Luthor head swap as well. Like, flawless victory. That was amazing. Very cool. What's going on, Rich? Good to see you in here. Hello, hello. Yeah, hopefully some other people join in.
Don't forget, he's nominated too. Channel of the Year.
Don't forget, he's nominated too. Guess that key. Bunch of nominated folks here. We'll talk about that later. We'll go through that.
Oh, I feel left out.
Try harder.
Oh.
You should start. Step 1 in your efforts would be to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. So we're definitely going to kick this off with we're going to talk some Alien Earth first, and hopefully some people will join in and everything. Then we'll dive into and talk about your book. I'll pull up the trailer via Instagram. We should be able to play it just from pulling up on Instagram. That'll be what'd you say?
We can play it on my website too.
Either way, we'll do that in a little bit. But the biggest thing this week is most certainly in terms of movies and shows is the brand new show from Hulu. What I've been saying has probably had the strongest, most creative, and best marketing campaign I've seen in a long time. This is Disney's second outing with the Alien franchise. They've been batting 1,000 so far with the Prey movie and the Predator franchise, the Predator Killer of Killers. We haven't seen anything from RoboCop yet or Terminator, but I don't know who holds those. I always group them together, but they brought us Alien Romulus, which was absolute amazing. And now we have our first ever Alien television show, and it's on Hulu.
They seem to be doing really well with all of the Fox properties that they inherited so far. So far. But in true fashion, let's go around the horn and just give a no context rating, like where you rank this premiere. It was a 2-episode premiere. The episodes are roughly 40-something minutes apiece, so you got about like a close to an hour and 20 minutes of raw content, not counting the credits and stuff. But it was pretty good chunk of content we got. But I rated it already. I posted it on Instagram. I gave it a solid 7 out of 10. Would recommend.
If you parsed it out, what would you give the first episode versus the second episode?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't parse it out? All right.
I'll think about that. But I watched it as a premiere. They gave us 2 episodes to watch at once. That's how I watched it. That's how they intended us to see it. That's how I viewed it.
Fair enough.
Kind of like I would never rate Rebel Moon, the edited version, because it's never intended to be seen. I would only rate the director's cuts.
Fair enough.
Because Mark had an opportunity to sit for more than 2 hours. You watched it all at once.
So I did. And I've watched them more than once.
I also
what would you give it?
A 7.0. I did watch it. I actually watched it separately. I watched one on one day and the second one on the second.
Well, we'll
day.
get to the partial question then after a second. Javid, how would you rank them together as a full premiere? Did you separate them out, or did you get a chance to watch them all at once?
Yeah, I steamed through the full 2 hours. So I think you guys are pretty spot on. I'd probably go 7. I could be argued in either direction probably, but I think 7's a fair number.
All right. Well, I'm going to stand firm on 7, but I'm going to try to talk you down to a 5 by the end of this stream just for fun. Let's see if we can do it. If you're watching, give us your ranks out of 10. Out of 10, let me know what you think. What is going on? Comics Embrace. Sledge, what's going on? Says, hard disagree. Haven't been impressed with anything but one episode of Killer of Killers. Was it the samurai one? Because I feel like that was the strongest installment in that. But yeah, I think Romulus was amazing. Prey was amazing. Yeah, there's some good stuff.
I thought Killers was great.
Killers
for the
bullet.
Kind of the
corny.
Bullet, yeah.
Just too corny compared to the rest. It was so serious.
Yeah. There was just like the suspension of disbelief on that one just didn't. There was some mistakes in the.
I had just watched Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and then I'm watching that. I'm like, come on, man! There's too many people wing walking. You're not Tom Cruise. Like, I believe Tom Cruise doing it more than the cartoon guy.
Yeah,
that's how believable it was. Going to listen while I finish up moving. You guys are in for a wild and confusing. I have read that wild and confusing Batman 11. It's very much so wild. And very much so unintentionally confusing, turns out. We'll see where that goes. We're talking Predator. We're talking Alien Earth. All right. So we all gave it 7s across the board. Just a synopsis of it is there's a research ship up in space, as there normally is. It has 5 different specimens on it. Events. It crashes on Earth. And that's what's new about this series. It's the first time that we're seeing Earth inside of the actual film or television. We have visited Earth numerous times in the expanded universe and the books and stuff, which aren't canon. They've never been canon to the movies or anything. But we do get to see how the Earth is ran by mega corporations, which is nothing new for this franchise. It's always been the case. It's something that's been existent since the very first Alien, when they were contacting Wayland through the mother computer and seeing that human life meant nothing. It was all about the dollar and the specimen. And we actually get to see the dynamic of that. And in so doing, they've introduced how it's not all just ran by Wayland. It's apparently 5 different mega corporations that run the world. And they're, of course, in competition with each other and in competition through a very specific product. And that product is the synthetics, and we get introduced to the different versions of that. It all started with cyborgs, enhancing an existing human being with extra parts. That's nothing new in science fiction. And then, of course, our traditional synthetics like Ash or David or Bishop. And then the new one that's very new to this series is what they call hybrids. It's when you take a fully synthetic body, and instead of giving it a computer program mind, you transfer the consciousness of a human being into it. And that's what this show's about, that action happening and then what those hybrids do, which is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me, but there's other parts of the show that help elevate it. But that's the whole concept of it. The ship crashes on Earth. Wayland wants their property back. It crashed in a corporation's district called Prodigy. So there's a little bit of corporate back and forth between them, but Prodigy is trying to send people in immediately and retrieve anything valuable that's on this ship before Wayland might get their property back. So it's just rich people fighting over intellectual properties while the commoners die trying to get it for them, so far is what it looks like. But what's your highs and lows for the show so far?
Yeah, there's also the sub story of Wendy and her brother, and her stripping out her brother and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, it's shameless plug by Disney to show part of Peter Pan in the series, but it kind of does fit. It's the place is called Neverland. It's all about they're putting the minds of children into the hybrids, and so they basically can be children forever. Which is what Peter Pan was all about. Being a child forever. So.
Well, just because they haven't really unpacked any of these concepts, they haven't unpacked the first philosophical concept Not one. I don't know if they think they have. I can't speak to that, but they haven't touched the first one. These won't be kids forever. Their minds will continue to mature with experience, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they're just children right now, but not forever, not for long, probably.
They're growing up fast, that's for sure.
They're going to have to.
Yeah. I think that's one of the highlights for me on this. Or to summarize the show for me, there's a lot of really cool concepts, but kind of the execution of it might not be on point in terms, like, I kind of wish this was a movie, to be honest. The pacing of like an urgency of trying to like perform a rescue mission and then drawing it out over multiple episodes and episodes and episodes, and it just kills the pacing. And what's great about Aliens, even Prometheus, it's like it's a monster in the house, and you've got to move, and every corner has urgency, and you might get killed at any given moment. And when you're trying to do a TV show, it's like we have all these cool concepts we're going to explore, but we're going to do that same concept, and then there's just a slight disconnect on the pacing of it. So, and then also just coming into it with like some pre-existing knowledge, like in the first opening scene of the show, which I thought was really cool. It's an homage to Alien, the original.
Big time. It's every bit of it.
Every bit of it, except they say a couple things where I'm like, wait, how? They say like, we lost a lot of men like getting these samples, and I was like, yeah, full-on Marines got smoked getting all these samples. Or in the original, like everyone just gets toasted. Like, how did you guys do that? Like,
yeah, these aren't even Space Marines. This is just a random private search and rescue squad for Prodigy. These are not Space Marines.
And you just dropped in the line. It's like, we lost a lot of people getting these, and I was like, that's what the other movies are literally like. Everyone's getting toasted. Like, oh, and it was just a line in the first like 30 seconds. I was like, okay, all right, we're good. Moving on.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting to see how this plays out after episode after episode after episode, because I think you could only play did something just move in the back so long, and can you do that for 8 hours, 8 episodes type of a thing,
So one of my biggest things that I like about this franchise as a whole, is that stuff that Prometheus really expanded on, those deep philosophical questions and getting to the meaning of existence. Because that's what a lot of this has steered into, because the xenomorphs are often referred to as the perfect organism. We have the synthetics in here. They've inserted those questions like if the synthetics, like he talked, if you made me, who made you? And if these engineers made you, who made them, kind of thing. You get into all that. And then in Covenant, you watch synthetics create life and stuff. And you can see where this show wants to have those vibes. And I described it in my immediate review as like, for a show that asks questions about the meaning of life, it's soulless right now, which I don't think it'll stay that way. I think they're setting some pieces in place, but it lacks any kind of emotional anchor with a human being, which will be required in order to have an emotional anchor. You just don't get emotionally anchored to non-human entities like that, or something that's perceived as soulless. The synthetics, like David from Prometheus, like, are pretty much perceived as soulless. I would say the Bishop wasn't, though, but he's over there saving Newt and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I think they're going to set up Wendy's brother.
And I don't think he's going to make it through this. If this has any traction like his typical Alien franchise installment, no one should make it through this. But maybe if you're lucky, one character can roll over. And I don't mean like all the suits that are safe in their ivory towers. I mean the people that are down on the ground in the ish. But there was some stuff that really stood out to me, is them like really swinging to sound smart, but missing the boat completely. And one of the biggest ones for me was when the kid genius that runs Prodigy sits down with like his chief doctor, and they're talking, and this is the moment when he's supposed to be giving you his motives behind wanting to create the hybrids, and it's just to have a conversation. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
He wants a conversation
in the context of this show. That was super dumb.
He wants somebody smarter than him, is what he says. That's the scene you're talking about, right?
Yeah, at least something that can challenge him for a moment.
Yeah. So there was a couple things that just didn't didn't connect. Like, and I think you nailed one of them.
That was the one. And then obviously, I don't know how anyone could watch this and not just face palm. It's absolutely face palm when he makes the decision to send the hybrids into the crash site.
What do you mean? They explained it away with one line of dialogue.
Just don't lose them.
Yeah, just don't lose them. It's like, these are too expensive. They're kids. It's like the laundry list of reasons not to do it.
And he said, we can't afford to lose the first one. Then don't lose them.
Then don't lose them. Yeah, exactly. I think there's one of the, my additional critiques of the show is sometimes you can over explain in a way that you're introducing questions to the audience that they probably wouldn't have asked. And now you've said them in dialogue and you're like, yeah, that's really dumb. And that's like a great example of it. It's like, yeah, no one would send kids in, even if they're robots. I mean, the extent of what we've seen Wendy do is pick up a bunch of kids and jump off a cliff. So she's strong as shit, but they could have done a lot more with that.
And durable. She seems, if you take a synthetic and just drop them from the same height Wendy went, it would splatter.
Oh, Bishop ain't making that jump.
No. Yeah, they would splatter the way that they're set up and built. But Pops makes a good point, because there's just something about watching stuff with kid leads. It's not fun for me. For the same reason why the Prodigy guy wants to make these things. He wants to have a conversation with something smart. I don't want to watch a bunch of kids run around, make a bunch of kid decisions back to back that is just like stupid decision after. It's almost like a lazy form of writing. Like I can't justify my main character making so many bad decisions. Well, what if the main character is a kid? Now it's completely justified, every stupid writing decision that we want to make. It's just written off with that one little thing. But Pops makes a good point here. He's looking forward to seeing how the kids deal with the horrors of the situation, because kids can be savage when pushed into a corner. That's a super interesting perspective right there. That might be something they bring, because in all reality, you can already see where they're pushing the envelope with this series, with the level of violence and just I don't know.
She wielded a katana, right?
Out of left field, yeah. Like, where did it come from? Why did it stick to her back?
Right.
But yeah, it could get interesting, but ultimately, I would be happier without the kids. But at the same time, then we would just kind of be doing the same thing we've done before. It's the new angle. I anticipate another film inserted before Alien Earth after the first two to cover the gathering of the specimens. Yeah, there's a lot of questions with that. It isn't the first other aliens. We know other lives out there. I mean, we have Prometheus. In the words of AC/DC, who made who? Joe is the human element. Yeah, he can be. I think he's meant to be, but he has no dialogue. He's like that. If that's what they're going for, if he's meant to be our like human anchor, they picked a pretty weak actor for that. Like, there's been some strong human anchors in this show. I mean, like, look at Elizabeth Shaw and Prometheus. Look at Ellen Ripley herself. Like, there's been some strong characters. Old girl from Romulus, I forget the character's name, but we've had some strong ones. So I think that like that's what we'd assume. But having the human consciousness in Wendy, I think she's meant to be ours, because traditionally the Alien franchise has strong female leads. I mean, that's what, like, whether we think about it or not, that's what we expect with these things.
Totally.
It's going to be Wendy.
It's got to be Wendy, right? She's the lead.
Got to be. Boy Cavalier. Yeah. What a name. His every motivation is out of boredom. Yeah, which is, that's crazy.
If he starts to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu halfway through the show, it's too on the nose.
Two on the nose. Zuckerberg.
It's too Zuckerberg for me. That'll be the checkout moment. He was already kind of doing it with his feet and the iPad. I was like, okay,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's going on here? What are we doing?
All of his investments of time and resources is about something interesting to him. He is watching through them. He is riveted by it. Yeah, like I completely see that. Like but sending them is crazy. It's a decision that no person would make, even out of boredom, and not sending all of your assets. As they said, we cannot afford to lose the first one. Couldn't afford to do it.
There's going to be a reason. I think they're gonna pull that rug, and this is gonna be something that they anticipated.
How much of that feeling of that scene do you think is because we, the viewers, know more than the characters? We know there's a xenomorph there. We know what a xenomorph can do. They don't have a clue.
We know there's a face hugger in those eggs.
Yeah,
I mean,
that ending was tough. I like that.
They even played that for like half of the second episode with Wendy. They think it's a bear. They keep talking about how it's a bear. And it's like, okay, well, we all know, so we're ahead of the protagonist, which isn't always the best kind of way to tell a narrative, to be honest.
All I'm hearing is Katana envy. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That 2 hours make me care about someone or something I didn't. Yeah, I legitimately didn't find myself caring about anyone yet. But to be fair, I said this in my review. It's a television show. It's not a movie. It's roughly like all played out, just over 7 hours worth of content. So they have more time to do stuff with. That's formatting of television shows isn't the same for movies. That's for sure. And it normally takes you a few episodes when you start a new television show to get comfortable with the show, to figure out what characters are important. You know, you get introduced to a lot of them really fast. You don't know who your central character is unless you go in with predetermined knowledge, or if they just have an obvious casting choice that is your main lead person. In this, our biggest casting choice is our synthetic, Timothy Oliphant, who's a regular to FX Hulu content. Raylan Gibbons himself. But what'd y'all think of the actual xenomorph? Yes, dude, there's a Blade Runner vibes for sure with the hair.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple scenes with the xenomorph where I was just like, that's TV versus anything else. Like when he has him dead to rights with the gun and he jumps off and he does this slow motion thing and then he throws down the gun and he doesn't shoot at him. And obviously there's going to be some reasoning why the xenomorph doesn't smoke that guy, because he grabs him at the end of episode 2, Wendy's brother. I'm forgetting his name. But
Joe
has 9 lives. He's cat, apparently, in the show. Because at one point, the xenomorph is in this little sack, and he smokes 4 security people in like less than a half of a second. It's like, and they're all in pieces. And I'm like, wait, you were just like tickling Joe over there. What was that about?
Yeah, he smokes them so the xenomorph smokes them so fast that when they do the pan from, or the back shot behind him, like the guy's helmet is still spinning.
And there's nothing there. They're like they're like spattered blood. I was like, holy shit. And to be honest, it's awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, it was watching Joe walk around, like it was the statue for a second. I was like, I mean, they do a good job with the line of dialogue where they say that it senses like fear. And or what does it say? It wasn't fear. It senses like anxiety or nerves or something, and that's why it pulls out of the bag and smokes him so quick.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, obviously, you know, you don't have the budget on a TV series that you have on a movie. So a lot of the stuff, like the whole thing with the the French ruling the dynasty there happens in a different room, or with shadows or whatever. So it's, you don't see all that stuff. Although you do see something. You see half a body crawling along the floor.
That was nuts.
A little bit later on. So they do give you some nuggets of some gore. But yeah, it's the whole thing again. I said it before to start, was it'll be interesting if they can keep that up over the 8 episodes, because through the first 2 episodes, I was still looking behind all the characters to see, did something moving behind them? Did I see something move behind them? But it'll be interesting to see if I'm still doing that in the 8th episode.
Yeah, totally. It was like I didn't even notice the statue, and they did actual like a stop on it, and then they still got me with it. I was like, oh, well.
Yeah, when they go back and he's actually part of the statue, that's up
there. Yeah,
exactly.
He got me. I was like, oh, okay, good. That was slick. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, where they used it, they definitely went for the scare factor and everything, and the jump factor. So in that respect, it worked for the first 2 episodes. It'll be interesting to see where the overall story goes, and you're right. If it's just 8 episodes of gore, then is it really worth it?
So wait, I have a question for you because I think I know the answer, but this is between the movies, right? This is not
I believe
after?
so. I'm not the best on the chronology of all the movies and everything, especially when they like when the movie that comes out later actually happens before everything, and it's like
Right.
so because Prometheus was a prequel to all of them, right? I think, right?
Right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
Um,
so if which I think this is chronologically before. We'll ask Mark when he gets back, but I think this is before Alien and Aliens. So I does that mean the end of this show they're gonna like nuke this city? Like how are there not aliens on Earth then? Or like no knowledge of it?
yeah, I mean, maybe this is. I mean, obviously, this is the first they've seen them, so this must be how they actually first get to Earth. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of like the Planet of the Apes movies. Like they did the first one and then the second one, and then like by the fourth and the fifth one, they had jumped to before the first one. The
Yeah.
the older ones, not the newer ones.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So from a writing standpoint, because
Okay.
you're right. I mean, how did the episodes seem to flow for you?
So I am kind of being slightly pretentious when I watch some of this stuff and I kind of break it down, but I think for me there's a lot of incredible concepts here that they're exploring. But again, it kind of what it goes back to. It's like Alien feels like a movie to me versus a TV show, and like the introduction of Neverland and Wendy and stuff is actually awesome. So I could watch that show by itself.
Hmm.
I thought in the first episode, like things, it's for me, it's like 2025 television writing, where it's like we have to show you stuff at the beginning to get you interested in the show. And like for example, that kind of does this the other way. Like if anybody's seen the premiere of Invincible,
Hmm.
like it doesn't. The last scene of that show, that premiere, is what snags you and gets you to stay.
Hmm.
It's like, oh shit! Like Omni Man wrecks everybody. This show, it's like we got to get to it right away, so they're trying to do stuff quick. And I thought for Wendy, like I thought we could have, when Wendy becomes a cyborg, or not cyborg, what is
Hybrid.
it? Hybrid.
Yeah.
Um, we then get the flashback to her with her brother, and we
Right.
backfill everything. And I was like, we didn't. I don't think we needed to do that. I think we could have actually seen them together and seen that separation, and maybe even seen the funeral, and then I would have gotten invested in her. And like, and we get in the second episode, he said like, I went to your funeral, and she's like, you did? Like we could have done all that, I think, and then we would have been invested in the characters more before we got to the plot. So yeah, that was my biggest critique of it, because I do think there's I thought the show was overall, I know I gave it a 7, but I think there's stuff in here that's like a 10, like really really good. It's just shuffling, I think, some things around,
Hmm.
showing us some other things instead of doing flashbacks. Like I don't need the fractured narrative. Just show us, chronologically what's going on, get us invested correctly. I know
Yeah,
why they made those decisions, but
yeah, because they did a couple of them. They did not only going back to Wendy and everything, when she was the human and everything, but then they did the whole thing with Joe trying to
yep,
resign from his job, and why he was doing that, and they jumped back and forth. So I can definitely see what you're talking about.
it fractured narrative is tough to pull off.
Mhm.
Like and you got to know why you're doing it. I know why they did it on the show. Like I genuinely know. Like I could get in the showrunner's head and know why they made the decision they did. But I don't know that it's it when you're pulling back, like it was the best decision to make.
Mhm.
Hey Mark, we had a question for you.
I'm sorry. I had to walk my oldest daughter to her car. It's her. She just moved into her dorm room yesterday, and she was calling
Congratulations.
me because she was walking to her car. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm on my stream. Oh, that's okay. I could go. I'm like, screw that stream. What do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was just walking to my car and it's dark. I'm like, well, I'm fine then.
Hmm.
She's having a good day though. Very good day.
Good. Good.
That's a big one. Congratulations. That's so huge.
I feel like such a proud papa right now. Feels good when your kids call you and they need you.
Yeah, your daughter's calling. She needs you. Your son's breaking boards. He's like,
And monkeys becoming dangerous when you back her into a corner.
as all monkeys do.
As all monkeys do, yeah. What was the question?
If she starts throwing shit at you, you're in trouble.
Where is this in the chronology? This is before Alien and Aliens, correct?
Jason Brooklyn says it happens before the first two.
Yeah, this is
2120 and Aliens is 2122, he said.
So what I'm thinking is the events of this movie is what, like, in Alien, when he reports back to Earth on Mother, they're like, save the specimen, crew is expendable. These events are why Weyland knows of the xenomorphs, because they don't go into detail back in Ridley Scott's Alien, but Weyland clearly knew of the importance of getting a hold of a xenomorph.
So I brought up that question because it was like posing the ending of the show. Does that mean this gets like nuked? Like, how do they not have any specimens?
Who said they don't have any specimens?
Well, maybe they do.
Yeah, why would anyone ever assume that they don't have specimens?
Fair enough. All right.
Again, Weyland Yutani has always known the importance of these xenomorphs through all of them. They sent Burke and Aliens to make sure that every Space Marine ultimately served the purpose of containing and getting a specimen the entire second movie. That's why he was there, unbeknownst to all of them, until they find out that he double-crossed them. Alien 3, Charles Bishop Weyland himself in the flesh shows up to try to make sure that they successfully acquire Ripley, knowing that there's a queen in her. He doesn't send a synth. He sends a strike team and comes along himself. Alien Resurrection, it was all about reviving and cloning Ripley to get a queen because of how valuable it is. Like, it goes, I mean, we have Prometheus, that, and everything, like, they've always known how important these things are. And that only happens if they have knowledge of it. And if you want to get into the weeds and you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, AVP Requiem is when the Yutani Corporation gets a hold of the Predator technology after the events that happened in the town that they did nuke. And we know that Yutani Corp gets merged with Weyland later down the road. So they've been aware of alien life since all the way back to our time era. And Alien and Predator crossover, so poured in all the Predator stuff. Leave AVP out and just poured in the Predator stuff. They're very hyper aware of aliens. Mm-hmm. There could be aliens in Nebraska. I think that's where AVPR took place. Who knows? I don't know what they're considering canon or not. I'm not sure. What y'all think of the alien design?
The actual xenomorph?
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool. It's not as... Go ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I thought it looked pretty good, except it's not as alive as the first.
It looks like a popcorn bucket you get from Regal. You can say
there
it.
It is. Yeah.
That right there with the shallow detail, the details on the side of like the little designs and stuff is so shallow, and this thing is so matte finished that it looks like an actual popcorn bucket that came out when Requiem did.
I was going to say, it kind of looks like a xenomorph in the Silver Surfer had a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looked off to me. It didn't look bad, but it looked so not up to standards of everything we've seen beforehand. Now, when it was moving and doing stuff, it looked perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of shots that stood out like a sore thumb, this being one of them. And the other one was the first time we see it when it's on the ship and it does the stagnant moonwalk in front of the door when the cyborg is inside Mother, the computer program, and you see it in the window behind him, and it slowly comes into the window, mm-hmm. and then it changes cameras to outside of the window, and it's still just coming by, but it has no movement up or down. And Pops pointed it out because we were at dinner for my daughter's birthday, and I put up on my phone, and I was showing my brother who hadn't watched it yet. He was laughing at it, and I was showing Pops, like, yeah, now that you mention it, it looks like they have the suit on a dolly, and they're just slowly moving the dolly by the door. So it isn't like there's someone in the suit moving back, because no one would be that perfectly symmetrical, like just running that parallel. It looked a little goofy at times to me, but man, when it was in action, when it was doing its thing, when it face punched that dude in the jaw and was swinging him around, this has got to be the most brutal and rabid xenomorph we've seen on screen.
This shot, they just needed to like coat it in like liquid, like how in all the other movies, just like dripping.
Yeah, that's a good point, Drew. Yeah, she's got to be out there, right? Kevin says 20th Century Studios have turned things around. Theatrical and television division, Shogun, Prey, Paradise. I haven't watched Paradise yet. I heard good things, though. Really good things. Bo DeMayo can find work again in Hollywood. That's good to know. It's good to know. He roasted Marvel this past week. Roasted them. Everyone, when they finally get out from under Disney Marvel, they're like, all right, time to get this off my chest. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
I always think of the dancing frog from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, not again.
Not again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it doesn't look bad, but it looks noticeably different. I'm curious how long this xenomorph is going to last through this series now that we have those other eggs confirmed, you know?
Right.
We've never seen what happens if an alien incubates inside of a synth. Is it even possible? Will it come out white with all kinds of weird tubes on it and stuff? It looks way better than a TV alien ever has, better than expected, but it's true that the close-ups and still shots are not flawless. Yeah, and it's easy to take a still shot of something that has motion and flashing lights and stuff. I do like that it's a person in a suit, most definitely, that they didn't commit fully to CGI, but they could have done a little better. I mean, it's an alien that hatched out of a human being, so there's really, you know, nothing new with that. I'd say it's the weakest xenomorph design we've seen, but this, you can't really, it's not fair to one compare television with silver screen. It's just not the same. But overall, like I said, the show gets a 7. I don't take any points away for special effects.
Yeah, I mean, both from a budget standpoint, but also just from a filming standpoint, they're different. So,
yep.
I thought the actual ship looked great. I thought the like everything in space looked phenomenal, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I like all the Spaceballs references. Spaceballs is legendary. Look at this. There is CGI. Yeah, there is. But they didn't fully commit to CGI.
Not too long ago, they announced Spaceballs too.
They did, yeah.
So what do y'all predict?
He's not going to pass away until he does Spaceballs too.
What do y'all predict happens to Joe?
I don't know how he survived being snatched at the end of the episode, so
you better not have let him go.
Yeah, there's gonna be some kind of twist there. I don't know. I can't predict, but I'd say he's done for.
I think Sledge, it's cinema to TV show. You're not working with the same resources.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It could look better for sure, but it's not fair to one it.
I think that Joe is the one that makes it out alive in the end. I think he's the one that survives everything. Maybe even Wendy sacrificing herself.
I like it. Mark, what do you got?
I want to say he's going to be gooed up on a wall somewhere. Because there's face huggers. I mean, that's what we do. Because you can't kill everybody. They have to snatch people. They have to start hunker in. They have to start salivating and excreting, and it has to start changing their environment. That's an organic reaction that happens to the environment with their presence, and ultimately they want to cocoon people, and they that's how they repopulate. All they do is kill, eat, and reproduce, and that's how they reproduce.
So is the queen going to be incubated in him?
I don't know. Just like with insects, queens arise when needed, and that means one of those face huggers probably just by sheer chance has one in there somewhere.
I wonder if that's the connection to that new alien, the little mosquito.
The thing that bit the neck.
Yeah, and it had like a red slime ball that came out of those.
And it blew up. Well, I think it sucked all the blood.
Inflated with blood. Have y'all seen Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell?
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember when when the thing the mosquito gets on his back when he's playing the guitar and he starts going pale and he's getting sleepy and he falls over. That's all. As soon as it bit him, it drew one big suck, and as soon as it inflated, I died laughing, bro. I died laughing. I'm like, oh no, Dr. Rick Marshall. Oh no.
Talk about an underrated movie, by the way.
Oh man, me and Pops love that one.
That's a good pull right there.
Oh man. So did Stan Winston do the suit for the original Alien?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nope, that came later. He jumped in on Aliens. I was wondering who did the suit for the first Alien movie. Because it's easy for things to be, it's easy to criticize things and compare them, but it's not fair to compare anything like that to Stan Winston Studios. It's kind of like Wetaworks. That's why I don't judge CGI harshly, because you're not Wetaworks. Like I'll judge Avatar against Avatar, but I'm not judging anything else against Wetaworks. That's just not fair. They're so far beyond. They don't have competitors. You know what I mean? Like they just do their own thing. And it's kind of like Stan Winston. He doesn't have competitors in his field.
Brian Johnson did the special effects for
it. But that's why I just saw that Stan Winston didn't join the franchise. So Aliens. Theatrical business needs Disney because Disney can put their films on streaming. Families will watch. Streaming is hurting theatrical. I don't know what you mean. Theatrical business need Disney to chill out with the streaming and hold off before they put it there. Yeah, these streaming companies are seeing where they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're finding out they need those theater dollars because the streaming dollars aren't as strong. Every dollar is not equal in the terms of the movie universe. They need those theater dollars. We need at least 3 more baseball Ice Age references. Yeah, we'll get there. He shot my hair. You really are a spaceball. Yeah, it's H.R. Geiger's design, but I was wondering who made the suit itself. You know, if I went out and tried to make a suit based off H.R. Geiger's design, it would just look like I wrapped a person in cardboard boxes and then threw some water on them. I'm not buying the TV versus movies. Alien was made on a $10.7 million budget.
What is that in today's dollars?
I'm already pulling it up. Can you read the rest of the comment?
Sure. Earth is over 250 million, 35 million per episode, plus technology over almost 50 years, and it still isn't as good. Yeah. 10.7 and 79 has got to be more than 35 million per episode, I would think. I could be wrong.
Oh, I think you're spot on. I mean, producers back then just they weren't reliant on just immediately going to CGI for stuff. They had to build things and make everything practical and figure out, and they were problem solvers. I have mad respect for the skills that kind of, I don't want to say we've forgotten, but I don't know that they're as well executed anymore as they used to be.
It's 44 million roughly, 44,278,000. So take 44,278,000 and that was divided by 8. You know, that's how that math calculator would work. So Alien on its moderate budget was working with more money minute for minute. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it looks beautiful. The show looks beautiful. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The show is very, very well made. We're just criticizing a suit. Just a suit. the graphics, the violence, the costume designs, the set pieces, multiple locations, the cinematography, everything in the show looks good. The acting is good despite some weird choices in story, like with kids being your stars, like that. That doesn't have as much mileage for me, but they're acting like good kids, wonders of the world and all that. But we're just critical about one little nitpicky thing here. I'm being critical about it too, but just keeping myself in context.
And typically, although it's 35 million per episode, if I'm not wrong, and Jay may correct me, typically those type of things are front loaded because you spend more on the pilot episode and then you reuse the things. You don't have to pay for them with the subsequent episodes.
100%. Exactly. Exactly. I mean,
I would go out on a limb and say the CGI is burning most of their budget in this. There's a lot.
I would say that's probably correct. Like almost certainly.
Yeah, there's a lot of CGI. And you're absolutely right, Sledge. The most important part of it is the alien, but it's not necessarily the alien's presence. You go back to the original Alien. He's not on screen much. It's like how did you describe it at the beginning? It's like a monster in the house.
Yep.
Yeah, it's knowing he's there but not seeing him is like the strongest point of the alien stuff.
100%. Jaws, same thing.
God, did you see that? I think it might have been a fan made poster, this Jaws poster. It was like the greatest poster I've ever. I'll have to send it to you on IG. But it was probably the greatest poster I've ever seen in my life. I'm actually going to send it now so I can share it. There's some of these. I'm like, dude, if this should have been a steel book. It's so flippin' sweet.
Start the petition. Get it made.
They just did a steel book, but this should have been the one. This definitely it was amazing. Look at that. You can kind of see it. It's just the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But you see like where the white caps are right before they hit the sand. It's like it's the shark. Mm-hmm. The dark spot where his eye is, you actually see Jaws in that dark spot. You see the little yellow raft out there in the very, very center. So it's actually the scene from the movie, but just from so high up that it's kind of making it out to look like the shark. But right where his eye is, if you actually had this where you're able to hold it in hand and look at it, you can see the actual shark swimming toward the raft on there. It's brilliant poster.
Mm-hmm.
That is sick.
Yeah, I really dug that. Looking under your bed type stuff. Yeah, exactly. All right, we had a few people watching. Anyways, I'm excited for more of this. I'm hoping that they really bring it home. Noah Hawley, who's showrunner on this, has got some good stuff under his belt. It's easy to nitpick this stuff, and it's fun too. Don't get me wrong. I love nitpicking it. But I'm very happy with what they delivered. I always want everything I see to be as good as it possibly can be. But ultimately, I'm definitely happy with what we got right now. I'm not disappointed by it. I can't imagine being this like watching this and thinking, "Oh, that was crap," because it wasn't. Like it just wasn't. They got a lot that they can do with what they've introduced already. A lot they can do.
They got a lot to work with, man, and they got some really crazy concepts to go into. So I'll be curious to see what happens next.
Green Lanterns and Supergirl will get some backlash. People will still go watch. What will it get backlash for? I haven't seen any yet so far, and they've been definitely making their social media around. So what do you predict they'll get backlash for? I like John Cena, but PeaceMaker, just okay show. PeaceMaker was a phenomenal show.
Yeah,
there's no way around that. That was one of the best written and executed shows. And it blew my mind how many people the societal dialogue just went over their head because it's so nuanced. But go back and watch that and think of the two camps and where it's a show about a character trying to find his self-identity, who's lost and broken because the way he was raised is not who he is. And he's realizing that he's torn from all these, what he thought he's supposed to be led him to this point in life, this nexus point that broke him, which was killing Rick Flag. So the whole show is about him trying to find himself. Now, what are the two narrative angles that are pulling at him? You have his father and the extreme beliefs his father's has, and then the butterflies, which are on the exact opposite spectrum, saying we're going to save the planet no matter how many people it costs. It's literally the extreme versions of the two factions of political society and him stuck in the middle of them. And that went over so many people's heads. And at the end of it, he's like, y'all can all get it. I'm myself kind of thing. I'm like, dude, this is freaking brilliant. And it was fun the whole way through.
Yeah. And you have a whole group of people who are seemingly incapable of forming emotional connections, all trying to form emotional connections.
And they're so bad at it. And that's what makes it so good. What are they called? The 11th Street Gang or something?
Yeah.
For me, that was the surprise show. One of the, if it's not the number one surprise show for me in the last 5 years, it's in, even decade.
this season is supposed to be even better. I was talking to they've done 8 episodes, right? James Gunn has refused to show anybody episode 6, 7, and 8 because he just says it's the favorite thing he's ever done, and he does not want any leaks whatsoever. He wouldn't even show his publicist episode 6, 7, and 8
because he's afraid of getting leaks out there.
Yeah.
Dude, that show, dude, as it was coming out, like every single week, I was posting like freaking 9.5 out of 10. Like, I can't believe this is this good. Like, I'm shocked this is this good. This is crazy how, like, I was blown away by every episode. I think it was episode 3 or 4 where he has like a personal breakdown when he's by himself and he's just drinking and House of Pain is playing. And you literally, your heart just breaks for him. And then the next minute he's trying to like be tough for the people around. It's like, it's crazy how good it can just shift through the actual emotions. What James Gunn does with PeaceMaker is like literally the best property he can be James Gunn inside of. Like, it just works there. It doesn't work as good doing those shticks with Superman or with a Suicide Squad ensemble team or even with Guardians. PeaceMaker, where you could focus on that one character like that, it was and Vigilante. God, come on. There's no wrong time to rock.
Right.
Like, oh my God. And let's see. Kevin says Green Lantern focuses on black superheroes. Some folks are going to reject it, even with good storytelling. See, I think this is a great opportunity, Kevin, for you to see, because we've talked about this, Kevin, how, like, sure, I'll concede there's always going to be some people that are terrible people. Conceded. I give you that. But the level in which you think that is the case is not true. What you're about to find out with Lanterns is that people do not dislike black superheroes. Jon Stewart is one of the biggest fan favorite Green Lanterns out there, who has held his own, who's ran titles, who has front run as the Green Lantern for decades. You're going to see how many people do not dislike black superheroes. They never have disliked black superheroes, and good storytelling matters first, because what you're going to find is that people love Jon Stewart. I know there's been some people critical of the casting that I've seen talk, because they wish that a darker complected actor played Jon Stewart, and they only care that much because Jon Stewart is that big of a fan favorite that they want him that freaking accurate. But what they're going to see, because they probably haven't watched Rebel Ridge, is that Aaron freaking Pierre was born to play this role, and he's about to blow the socks off of everybody, dude. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I think people also forget that, like, Will Smith was the most bankable actor in Hollywood for like 20 years. And
The Rock was right after that.
And The Rock came after that. And then Blade started this whole thing, and that does not get the love that it should. Those movies are awesome, and they don't get the love. Like, people
watch it. Trinity was fun. Okay, Blade Trinity was fun.
Yeah, I mean, go back to the opening scene of Blade when they're in the nightclub.
Yes,
dude, let's go. That I mean, there's few. That's like Watchmen opening scene, Blade opening scene. There's a couple of that just mic drop kind of. Oh baby,
Blade
we're
2
in
is
it.
my favorite. Guillermo del Toro crushed it, and what was his name? Like Prince Korvac or something like that. Like that same dynamic that the main vampire had with like being shunned from his family and having the dislocating jaw and stuff.
Dude, they got to figure out that script and get that.
Yeah,
that
dude.
going.
Thank you, AR. Zoe Saldana is the queen of cinema. Literally the queen of cinema.
And she's awesome.
She is like 10 out of 10. Lioness, Avatar, Columbiana. She doesn't miss. Gamora. People don't want to see diversity or inclusion right now. Look at political. I agree the political climate is a little weird, but again, I think that there's not as much overlap as you think. As long as you don't include your political garbage from any side, keep political garbage out of entertainment is what people are finding out. The same thing people have been screaming for 5 years now. Get the political crap out of the entertainment, no matter what you believe. It doesn't matter.
I don't think they don't want to see diversity for diversity's sake or inclusion for inclusion's sake. But Jon Stewart has been a Green Lantern for 50 some years. Okay. And so
he was the Green Lantern for an entire decade of children that are now ticket buying customers. Like for me, I'm 38 years old in a couple of days. Wally West is my Flash.
You don't look
Kyle Rayner and Jon Stewart were the only two active Green Lanterns in comics. And Jon Stewart is the only one that was on television for all the 90s and 2000s. Like, John Stewart is the only Green Lantern for countless normies that don't read comics, that don't buy the animated movies. He's the only Green Lantern they know. When the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern came out, people were wondering why he was white.
Yeah, and they also, I mean, it's called Lanterns. You're going to see Hal Jordan. You're going to see Guy Gardner. You're going to see people besides just John Stewart.
And he's still going to steal the show because Aaron freaking Pierre was born for this. Mm-hmm. Also, Kevin, if you haven't seen Rebel Ridge, it's on Netflix starring Aaron Pierre. Watched it about a year ago and immediately started just like trolling the internet, calling for this guy to get this role. I didn't cause him to get the role. By no means am I taking credit for that. It's just one of those rare times when your fan casting becomes reality. I was very vocal about it.
Very.
Yeah, the political climate sucks right now. And politics are always going to be politics. It's how do we react to them? We got to, as long as we're still loving each other, cool with each other, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Politics are always going to be politics. They've always been politics, and that's never going to change.
Right. As long as we can all agree that Moon Knight was a terrible show.
We all agree Moon Knight sucks, 100%. That's what brings us together.
Yep.
Yeah. What else is on the agenda for tonight? Oh, yeah. John has a book.
Wait. Did we want to talk about the trailer? The Red Band trailer?
For PeaceMaker?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it. It was a great intro to
it. Like I said, PeaceMaker was one of the surprise shows for the last decade for me. Like, I absolutely love John Cena and everything. If you haven't seen Ricky Stenicki,
oh my God,
like, go watch that movie.
And he's air dicking.
He's air dude, I couldn't even like stop laughing, but 5 years ago that probably offends everybody. Even what's the President movie he just was in, came out like 2 weeks ago.
I don't think
it's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon
Prime. And Idris Elba.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's a good movie. Check it out. So I'm a John Cena fanboy. I think I would have never suspected he would be, a guy that I absolutely look forward to seeing anything he's in. But Red Band trailer, even with James dropping F-bombs, introducing it.
Heads of State.
Heads of State. Yeah, check it out. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch. But yeah, Red Band trailer looks absolutely awesome. I don't know who that alien is. I want to know. If you guys got
some guy who I always say hey to, and he never says shit back to me.
Yeah.
God, I want to know. It's just going to be a throwaway thing. I hope it's just a throwaway thing. Like it happens like once every 3 episodes or something.
Yeah. Go back in your box type of thing. I'm going to pretend like that finger was there. You randomly found it.
Yeah, eagerly. I do want to speculate. Some people have mentioned that they think that this could be a Henry Cavill character cameo, just as like a little respect thrown Henry Cavill's way, including him in some capacity in the end of this, or potentially, if it's not Henry Cavill, just a character that they don't want spoiled. Who do y'all think it could possibly be if he feels it's that important to not let it get out there? Because James Gunn moved up the digital release of Superman to guarantee it released in time for people to watch it before this comes out.
Right. I mean, Cavill would be a good guess.
Yeah,
do you think it's potentially Cavill? Because obviously none of us actually know, but who could you picture him potentially playing as? Could he be Superman in one of these doorways in another world, in another dimension, where we get a little look at Snyder's actual world, where continuity wise, that wouldn't be impossible to do, and it'd be a seamless way to address like it exists. Some of these characters have rolled over. Cena's still here, but that world's over here. That's why there's some similarities in the DCU. Would you think they would do that, or would he take up a different character altogether?
So maybe he sees Jason Momoa as Aquaman behind one door and Jason Momoa as Lobo behind another door.
Oh, Lobo would be a good guess. What I would love to see, personally, because we're dealing with the Charlton characters. Peacemaker's a Charlton character. Judo Master from season 1's a Charlton character. The only thing that I'm thinking is, what other Charlton character will get introduced in this. Now, we know that Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, is returning to the DCU in an animated show. First off, Taylor's probably absolutely right. RDJ is Deathstroke. But what I'm thinking would be a good idea, I don't see any evidence of it, but would be a good idea. At the end of Blue Beetle, the after credit was the reveal that Ted Cord was alive. Well, we know Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle is slated down the road. So is Booster Gold. Both of those properties require Ted Cord Blue Beetle. They just do. That's who trains Jaime when he gets to Cord Industries. That's Booster Gold's best friend. A standalone booster doesn't work without Blue Beetle. So what if Christopher finds Ted Cord, who's lost somewhere? We just heard the transmission. What if he's behind one of these doors? He's our next Charlton character they introduce, and they bring in Ted Cord Blue Beetle and get him into the universe where he can then appear in the Blue Beetle show or in the Booster Gold show. I think that would be a smart way to go.
Do they go full craziness and have an episode where it's animated and he's in the Creature Commandos universe?
Man, that would be weird, but I'd be for it. I'd be for it. The other thing is like, what if we get Henry Cavill as Captain Atom?
That'd be dope.
I really want Captain Atom. I looked for that first appearance for years. I acquired it at a phenomenal price. It's one of those books that never goes up. So I would love for him to pop up so I could just have, either one of them pop up. Any of the Charlton characters. I've been ready for Charlton characters to pop. Nothing? No guesses on characters, Paul?
I could see any of the ones that you just mentioned. Could he? He really didn't want to show anybody. Could he really? Do you think he could possibly show who's going to play Batman in The Brave and the Bold?
You think he's been that good at keeping it under wraps? It's possible.
Because we pretty much have, after Supergirl, which is done, which is next year. Then we have Clayface, which is coming out in 2027, I believe. They have supposedly reserved 2 dates in 2027 for movies.
They've fast tracked Wonder Woman. I think that might be one of them.
Yeah, could the other one be The Brave and the Bold? So I don't know. Can't come soon enough. I will be there watching every.
What date is it released this week?
21st,
Thursday. Oh, nice. It's not Sunday.
Right.
Exactly. Well, that means we'll be able to watch them, and just 2 days later, we'll be ready to rock. That's amazing.
Did you also see, since you were talking about the digital release, did you see the still of the Frank Grillo? It was the Ted Cord, Maxwell Lord clip, and the banner at the bottom.
The ticker at the bottom.
Yeah,
Lex Luthor found responsible for the
false images, which he has said all along that they were not false.
Yeah, James Gunn said that's actually what his parents said. He improperly referenced comic books that he said that it was done in, which it wasn't. Which that's neither here nor there. He said that they've done that before in comics, where his parents were these crazy dictator-like people. He wants to just go smash the population. That's not true. He referenced Birthright, which Lex Luthor ran a fake hologram program of Kryptonians invading that had been traveling across the stars for eons that just made it here, and his parents had nothing to do with that invading army. And the invading army wasn't even a real army. It was quite literally just Luthor goons dressed up, and then the rest were just fake holograms. So that was completely inaccurate, but his parents are never psychopaths. Never, ever. Ever in comics has his parents been psychopaths. Maybe if you get something else world, maybe. But that's like the biggest gripe I have with the Superman movie is that parent thing just felt wrong. Felt super wrong. You had a harem. And a gaggle of bitches. Should he though?
That's what Peacemaker is going to find. He's going to go through a gate, and he's just going to have a harem. He's just going to
Superman dinner with a harem.
Harem.
It'll be Henry Cavill.
I mean, we got the orgy scene. It would be an organic transition. The orgy,
Yeah.
the orgy, and he's like, that's what friends do. That's how we bond. That's weird.
That's weird. God. I'm excited to see Robert Patrick's coming back as his dad, right? Because on this other world, his dad, him, and his brother's still alive, full grown, and they're fighting for peace.
How good was that casting, by the way?
For Robert Patrick?
He's perfect.
He's perfect in everything he's in.
Yeah, legit. It's legit.
Yeah. All right, let's shift over. You want to talk about your book?
Yeah. I might be able to do that. What do we want to, maybe were we going to show the trailer? You want to start with that?
We can. You want me to do it on Instagram?
Either way, Instagram, or
if you have it where you can share it, go for it. If it's readily available, I can have it on Instagram in just a second.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, pull it up on Instagram. But anybody in chat, this is my graphic novel that Mark's pulling up the trailer for. And then hopefully dig the trailer and we'll go from there.
Imagine when man can move planets as if gods. What would humanity meddle with next? Would it be wise or cause death? Gaddock's 9 feet tall perfection have modified their DNA, while Nanodites choosing machines to heal from within, dividing lines drawn, an inevitability between those who see their differences. War. Now amid this conflict, I must save my son. I must protect my family.
Hello, Eric. My name's Ivy. I'm the lead Gaddock geneticist. We're experiencing a massive problem, and we need your help.
We've lost the starboard engine.
Remote failure.
What are you doing?
I'll throw the pump manually.
No, Eric! It's over 3,000 degrees!
All systems active. What's happening to me? You're hiding him from us. Now, where is he?
You might be the key. The key to everything.
Wherever you are, I will find you. Lena, I failed us.
Eric, when great men give up, the greatest ones push even harder. Be the greatest, my love.
When man can...
I think you're muted, Mark.
Yeah, the little cover reveal at the end of that.
I did, but not as big.
For those that didn't see, he has Ivan Tao doing cover work on this project.
And let me just say, with regard to Ivan, like I had thank you.
42 years in the making.
I'm actually, yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's spot on. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate you. The book's actually been done for a while now, and I had just some cover stuff that just complicated things, and I had somebody connect me to Ivan, and Ivan stepped up in a big way, kind of took care of stuff basically immediately, and he hooked me up with this. This is going to be the A cover. If Mark wants to reveal the B cover, he can do that too. That hasn't been shown or seen by anybody yet.
Well, first off, I'm dropping in the chat. I dropped a link where this book will launch on Kickstarter, right? This isn't a normal Kickstarter like you see a lot of things happen, like where they're like, hey, back this Kickstarter, and then once I get the money, I'll finish the book and get it into production. All that. This is a finished project. Like so much so, I own the book. I have the book. I don't have the fancy cover, but I have the book. I've read the book. I've known about this for a while, as has Paul. John was stupid enough to message me early on and say, "Hey, do you mind reading this and maybe giving me some feedback?" I gave the dude gave him some notes, and that's actually where we became buddies. Is because when someone asked me for notes, I give notes.
Yeah, but, I mean, in terms of our like how we even met, and it's just a good story too. It's like I was, just probably like anybody on YouTube watching big content creator channels that are kind of have a bigger footprint and stuff. And I was like, I want to get into these other communities, and came across Mark's channel. I guess this was like almost 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. It was a
stupid ISOM video. It was the only good thing that came out of doing that review.
I had seen you guys before that, but yeah, that was the first one where I was like, oh man, this dude actually said, like, with that book, you got extremes, right? It was like people that said it was the greatest thing ever, and then it was people that just trashed it. But it was
what you just described as liars. You have liars.
It just wasn't an honest review, and then your channel was really honest. I started watching, and to be honest, dude, like the fact that you even responded and were game for me to send you something and you checking it out, I'll be forever grateful for that.
Yeah, I never, I don't know why I did either. I never do that. Like I get those kind of emails and messages all the time. I've got a small stack of books down here that people have just sent me. I don't even know how they got my stuff, and I've still not read them. I never do that.
Dude, I squeezed through the cracks, and I'll be eternally appreciative. And this whole community has been really awesome. So everyone out there, you guys are amazing. If you guys got channels for me to come on, I would love to come on just to promote this stuff. But like Mark said, this is completely self-funded. I started writing this in 2012. The idea itself can date all the way back to probably 2000, to be honest. So it's been something that's been in my head forever. It just came to a point, especially the actual production process. I'll give a little insight on it. It was the reason why the universe is called Avalon. This is a fun little side story. Is my Toyota Avalon was sitting in front of my house while I was in grad school, and at 4:30 in the morning, a woman just crashed into the car, parked, and the person I was living with, because I was just in grad school, like renting a room, started screaming like, "Get out here, get out here." I had been out the night before until like 2 or 3 in the morning, so I was only asleep for like 30 minutes. And I came running outside, and the whole front of my Toyota Avalon was smashed. And the lady stood there, and she owned it. She goes, "I was messing with my screaming baby in the back seat, and I just drove into your car. I'm so sorry." And I actually, the car was a jalopy anyway. I didn't really care that much. I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." She's like, "Here's my insurance, run it, whatever." And I got $2,500 in damages. But I was like, the car sucks anyway, and the hood is metal. So I just bent everything back by hand. Literally I was like, you got to be able to do this, right? So I bent the hood back. And that was my almost the third year. My second year of grad school. And I took that money and I started, I said, I'm going to do this book. There was massive delays in the middle there. My artist had some family stuff go on. I ran out of money. The lockdown of the planet happened. I had been saving, and I was like, I'm absolutely going to finish this, no matter what. So that's the progression of it. When we started back up the book, initially there was 40 pages done. And then when we started back up, it took another 3 years to get the remaining, whatever that is, 40, 60, 70, 80 pages. So the book sits at one. So here's a thing for Mark that he doesn't know yet. There's actually 4 new pages that are not in this book.
Oh. Yeah, they were needed. They were definitely needed.
Needed pages for sure. Which you'd be surprised how
you told me this, by the way. You have told me this, by the way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you'd be surprised how a couple pages really elevate a thing, but or a book. So I'm excited.
Are they in the last issue?
3 of them are in the last issue.
Yeah,
and potentially one more that I don't have yet. It's going to be if I can sell some stuff and pay for an extra page, basically.
You've got 2 kidneys. I believe
I
in
know.
you.
I only need one of them. So yeah. So I'm actually going to talk to my artist in the next day or two, hopefully, and just be like, "Hey, man, do you have the bandwidth for this?" And then I'm going to sell like maybe that book or something. I don't know. We'll sell something
First
and we'll
full
figure out.
appearance of Dark Side, Forever People
There you go.
#1, sitting right there.
Yeah. Yes. And oops, that might have been my key on Paul's show in like 2 weeks. So now I got to find out something else to bring.
You know what I'm asking first?
Yeah. But yeah, the book itself has been a passion project forever. Year and a half of artist stuff. So it was this. Mark has had this for a year. It drops on Tuesday. Unless
to that, I dropped the link again. Hit that link. It'll take you to the Kickstarter website. You don't have to back, commit, finance anything tonight, but hit that link. Even if you know you're not going to be able to back this project, if you're not financially able to, do me a favor, hit the link and just hit the follow campaign. The more people that follow the campaign, just like with YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else, it helps give it traction, because the way they have algorithms over there that push these projects to unsuspecting shoppers. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's a lot of creators, and they're all fighting for FaceTime with users that log onto the website. So hit the link, go follow the project at bare minimum. It doesn't cost you nothing, and it means the world to this struggling artist whose eyes go on for days.
Yes, that is. Thank you. Well said. Well said. I could go into the book a little bit, or I can also talk about some of the tiers.
I've also got that second cover ready if you want. I got it uploaded now. So Ivan Tao does that cover that's over his shoulder, that beautiful A cover poster right there, but it's not the only cover. Ivan Tao came in clutch with 2 of them, and the B cover is rocking right there. And I won't get into that spoiler territory to describe what you're looking at there, but that is Eric right there on the left. But this is a sci-fi, like this is, I don't want to say it's high sci-fi to the point that it's like you need a thesaurus and a huge imagination to understand it. It's not that. This is pure sci-fi though. It's not hard sci-fi, but man, it was a blast. It's a well flushed out world. The amount of time that he spent on this shows, it's you don't feel lost in it, but it's immersive.
So that was the approach. Thanks. That's a great pitch of it. The approach was, like, my background is science nerd for sure. I mean, sci-fi nerd, science nerd. So everything that happens in the book in terms of terraforming, like Venus, the war is being fought on Venus. These are the 4 terrestrial planets. All that science actually kind of works. There's fudges on how long time everything takes. But then there's a reason why this book isn't called Avalon. It's called Eric. You ground the story in a character, and you get invested in their journey. And it's about like, as you can see here, this is his wife. That's Lena up there. It's what you would do as a husband, and when you fall in love, you become this one entity, and you have a child and you become a father.
It's the lengths a father will go.
That's exactly right. And so the window dressing of the universe and the sci-fi, Mark, any of us would do anything within the constraints of, our reality. Well, the sci-fi window dressing just removes those constraints and creates opportunities to put Eric in crazy situations, whether it's testing things on himself, making decisions on other planets, I mean, the circumstances that we put him in situations to make really hard decisions where, he might not be able to save everybody, but the long run, he can save a lot of other people. And I'm trying to be as vague as possible, just not to spoil everything about it. But
you're doing good.
Yeah. But the world itself kind of has 2 divergent groups of humans that you saw in the trailer. It's Nanidites and Gaddics. Some of the tiers
class warfare.
What's that?
I said, which creates class warfare on a galactic scale.
Yeah, totally. So some of the tiers, you will be able to buy 2 of these. There's 2 of these left. So if you want a first print run ever, Mark and Paul both have one, but if you want to get on this, there'll be a couple of these for sale. You're going to be able to get the A cover and the B cover, obviously. You can get a digital copy if you. I totally respect that these are expensive and the shipping is a pain in the butt, and I apologize. That's just how much it costs as an independent creator to print this stuff. This is the tier that I think might be the coolest, or one of the cooler things. So there's 6 chapters in the book, and currently these are what the pages look like. You'll be able to actually purchase these if you'd like. There's only 4 of them. A couple of them have already been promised to people, but write a quote for your loved one, and it'll be in there for the print run. If you want to have it market your YouTube channel or something like that, we'll put that in there. But the idea is, write a quote to your wife, write a quote to your kids, write a quote to your husband, whatever it may be. Because that's really what this story is about. It's about, family and the lengths, like Mark said, a father will go to, do anything to save his family. So there's 4 of those in there. That I think that's one of the coolest tiers, to be honest. And a small qualifier, it is pending. This is a book for everybody. So, if you buy one and then you try to put some crazy stuff in there, that's not going to fly. But otherwise, it's pretty cool. And then the other in between tier, like one of the things is there's going to be a limited virgin print of A and B cover, where for the A cover, it's going to be the first chapter of the book with the original art. So I can't show this, but the original, I can't show it. The original art has, in the first 30 pages, has some nudity. So there'll be a limited virgin cover.
Motor edition.
Yeah.
And it also has terrible lettering.
It absolutely does. So you want to, this is actually the first time the book was ever printed. It's 30 pages floppy. And I was just like, I'm going to print this. I want to see what it looks like. So this is a panel from the book. This is actually available on one of the tiers, by the way. This is not what you guys read. This is even worse than what you guys read.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Give me a hard sell, Mark. Why don't you? Thank you.
So we have Eric, the red band edition with the new.
No, what's in all sincerity, what is good about this? A lot of indie comic creators do have to cut their teeth. They do have to learn from their mistakes. You're not coming into this as a novice. This is your first comic, but this, for any of those out there who are unaware, he's a writer by profession. He's a writing teacher by trade. This is not a novice creating a comic book. This is an actual professional writer taking something that he's had for a long time and making it available for people to read for the first time. So this feels like somebody with experience. This doesn't feel like something that you would just, I'm going to be nice to this person and buy their book to help them. And I'll just put it away. No, you can actually buy this with confidence, knowing you're going to read a quality story from a very experienced writer.
I'm going to clip that and put that on Instagram. Thank you. Yeah. The actual, like a little backstory on me in terms of my life. I did go to undergrad, like with a business economics degree. I played some sports and then went into the corporate world, but writing was kind of a hobby. And then I applied to some film schools and made the promise to myself, if I was able to get into the top programs, I would walk away from my career and go to grad school. So that's what I did when I was fortunate enough to get into all these programs. Post-grad, I did well enough that the school actually asked me back to teach on the undergrad. So I am at a top 5 film school. I am a screenwriting professor, and that's what I do on a daily basis. I'm helping students write. I teach 2 classes, basically the most difficult class, which is a Weeder class for the screenwriting major at my university. And then I teach the graduate thesis class where I'm helping students go write a sample that they're bringing out into Hollywood. So the one thing that I will say about that is I did write this 12 years ago. I'm an entirely new, I cannot wait to continue this journey and keep writing more and more and more and more. I mean, I got a lot of stuff written, and it's like Mark said, this is not a buying a book from somebody that hasn't dedicated a lot of time to this. So I'm hoping that is reflected in this book, and I truly hope that anybody that's generous enough or has the ability to back it or even donate $1 or whatever it may be, really enjoys it. That's the goal.
And again, it goes live Tuesday.
The 19th, correct? Yeah.
Tuesday. So
yeah, I'm doing a small call tomorrow with a Kickstarter kind of expert, because once you click the button, it's kind of locked in. So I got, we were supposed to talk last week. He got sick, unfortunately. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Probably by the end of that call or by the little afternoon, when you click on that preview link, it'll be the full thing. You'll be able to see all the tiers, everything. And then Tuesday, it should be up and running. And I know that Mark mentioned the little algorithm stuff, but the first 48 hours, I think, is important. So if you guys get in on that, there's a tier for the first 50 people that come in. You'll get a free ash can and a free My Local Comic Shop. Man, they are awesome. So if you go on I wish I had them in front of me. How do I not have them in front of me? My Local Comic Shop has a bunch of Stan Lee like cover exclusive variants. They donated 800 books to my Kickstarter. So there'll be opportunities and tiers and stuff to kind of grab some of those, and hopefully you get it, like you dig some of them or whatever. If you have me on IG, I'm just going to be randomly pulling those. But if you see one that you like and you got me on Instagram and you back me, send me a DM. I'll put in the book the exact book you want and stuff. But first 50 people get for A and B cover, get one of those for free, and then some of the other tiers have them cooked into the, like, you get them no matter what. So there's some fun stuff in there, and I hope you enjoy it. That truly at the end of the day, that's what it is.
You will enjoy it.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I can't wait for the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. This is, the only limiting factor for me right now in the production of the next book, which there's 3 more written, is I have 3 other books written, I should say, is just the finances. So as soon as that.
And I'll say another fantastic thing about this, where a lot of comic book Kickstarters, you're backing an issue. You're like, let me back this issue of this comic, and then I have to wait 700 years for issue 2. That's not what this is. This is a full-fledged story. It's a trade paperback. Like he said, there's chapters. Those are issues. It's a full. How many pages?
So right now, this that you have is 120, but there's 4 more pages.
The final one, the final draft.
124, 125. So just think you're getting, for the cost, you're getting 6 comics, right? It's a trade paperback.
So you normally get a comic, and you have to wait. You have to wait a year or 2 for issue 2 Kickstarter to come out. Then another. He's got all 6. He has the first trade done. You get the whole thing. You read it, and you feel complete, and you feel like you want to know more about this universe. But it's got a beginning, middle, and an end, and it's open-ended for the next chapter. But it's not cliffhanger where you're left holding the bag. So you get the whole kit and caboodle with this, folks.
And just to even some stuff on the back end for anybody that's curious about Kickstarter and advice and stuff. A lot of people have really suggested that I kind of break this book up and do smaller stuff like Mark's suggesting on the typical Kickstarter, which I think potentially could be probably a more
viable
approach. What's that?
A viable option.
It's a very viable option, but I mean, honestly, the reason why I chose this direction was to get the entire story in your hands, so you could read the whole thing. Like it's probably in terms of, like, if you're looking at it as like a business decision, it's probably not the best decision for me. But in actuality, I'm doing it because I want everybody to have the entire story in their hands, and they don't have to either wait for the next one or drop off. You're going to get it. You're going to read the whole thing, and I hope that you're on board for what comes next and everything else that I'm going to work on in the future.
But yeah, we'll be talking about this more as the days go after it launches. We'll be reminding people along the way, along the streams. Hopefully we can get some people on there. It's just a humble little channel over here, but hopefully it gets you a couple of people.
Yeah, and if there's anybody out there that has space for me on their channel or knows somebody that could possibly have me on their channel, that'd be amazing too. I've been on a couple podcasts already that'll be dropping in the near future, but I need all the help I can get. Believe it or not, most people, they don't even respond to DMs, and I've been talking to them forever. So any help anyone could do would be greatly appreciated.
You'll be on Guess That Key too, early September.
Yeah, second time, and I promise it won't be the absurd book that I brought last time that no one could get.
At this point, you're going to have to bring it back because we guessed the other one already.
I got other keys, but yeah. That was probably the plan. So now I got to figure something out. Plan B.
But yeah, we're already past 10 o'clock. That's the show for tonight. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to hit before we get out of here? We'll look at the Deadpool. I wanted to talk about the Deadpool Batman book because when I get a chance to troll people with Frank Miller's art, I got to take it. I love Frank Miller's art. Made the thumbnail. We'll see it again.
I think years from now, this is going to be called Frank Miller's squatting phase.
It might be. Yeah, and also, like, can you tell? Because I can't tell. Can you tell? Are they underwater on that cover? Because there's these weird bubbles by their faces and this blue hue to it. And the way the blood is on the claw, it looks like it's almost like floating in water. I don't know. All I know is I love it. I legit like it. I'm not saying it's Jim Lee. I'm not saying you're looking at Dan Mora art, but I like that it looks weird. I like the weird is appealing. Like you look at it, like I got to keep looking at it. There's one. I think it might be the Batman issue #1 for the new series coming up, where he's kind of like squatted down on the power line.
Wire, yeah.
Yes. I'm like,
So you're saying it's like an accident. You don't know what you're looking at, but you can't look away.
Well, I know what I'm looking at. I can't stop looking at it. I'm wondering why it looks like that. But again, it's not his artwork. There's nothing new about his art like this. It's just he likes this overhead squatting thing. Like he's drawn a lot of them like that. The Red Hulk he did like that. The Sabretooth he did like
Captain
that.
America, Wolverine he did his own Wolverine he did like that.
Yeah, it's whatever. But I like Frank Miller's art. Just like with some of these writers, I don't want all my books written by that person, but I'll take it. Move over, Alex Ross. The new FM is here. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, I guess we'll be talking about that as it gets closer. I think it was on FOC order here recently. A lot of people were talking about it this week. But yeah, I'll definitely be.
Yeah, they just announced the second one.
Yeah, I saw there's a lot of other ones like was it Bruno Redondo and Tom Taylor coming back together for
that's the DC one that they're doing.
X-23 Nightwing. What it sounds like is there's short stories in the back too to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, a Constantine crossing over with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the first one has Wonder Woman and Captain America. It has a whole bunch of other.
Yeah. But yeah, some stuff to look forward to. I like the idea of backup stories instead of so many issues because, I mean, if it was Amalgam, I'd feel different about it. But yeah, hey, they're re-releasing those. You mentioned that has to be getting closer, right?
It's coming out in October, I believe. They're starting with the Spider-Boy one. So
yeah. Have you found out if they're just doing 12 or all 24 yet?
I have not found out. I didn't see anything listed although Marvel hasn't announced their November solicitations yet. So we'll wait to see because they're the one that's doing the Spider-Boy one. Maybe they're doing their first set. Everything old is new again. Reprinting everything. Fantastic Four, 1 through 12. They just finished Secret Wars, Crisis on Infinite. You name it. Like every week now, there's another facsimile issue on the stands.
Yeah. It's good stuff to look forward to. We'll be talking about it. There's some good stuff from this week. I'm going to roll them over to next week. Space Ghost #1 for year 2 just dropped. The penultimate issue of Daniel Warren Johnson's time on Transformers. Gotham by Gaslight has some Green Lantern course drop. Yeah, some good stuff. But we'll be talking about it next week. We'll be diving back in as well as pushing this Kickstarter. What's up, Ruby G? I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. I'm about to make like a baby and head out. 5 a.m. comes early. Thanks for hopping on, J-Med, Jonathan Medici, Jonathan Medici 7, John Comic Avalon, all of y'all. We appreciate y'all being here.
I'm an amalgam universe.
You are.
And it all comes together like butt cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All depends on what door we open. That tells us which Jonathan Medici comes out.
But I hope everyone has a good night. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And we'll see y'all next week.
Is that it? Is that all you got?